Hey guys, welcome to my video about self-help depression part 2! Yay! If you haven't seen part 1, please go check out the links in the description. The first link will be to my part 1 about depression self-help, where I kind of introduce it all to talk about depression in general and a couple of things like that. So if you haven't watched that, please go check it out because otherwise this one might not make a lot of sense to you. If you've already seen it though, thanks for clicking and for watching this video. So before I start this video and talk about anything in any way, I would just like to say that I am not a therapist. The information I'm going to give you here shouldn't replace like going to see a counselor or a therapist or going to see a psychologist, anything like that. I'd also like to say that everything that I talk about here might not work for you. Everyone's different. Just keep that in mind when you watch this video. So today we're going to be talking about cognitive restructuring, which is basically restructuring your thought pattern, changing your thoughts, identifying your sort of negative or faulty thoughts, and changing them around to positive, good thoughts to help you get a better outlook on life, a more positive outlook on life. Changing your thoughts will help you with depression in general. It will help you be able to see more people, see things in a different light. It will help sort of eliminate these bad thoughts that keep coming back in your head and that just don't seem to let you be able to advance in life or get anything done. This is what is going to help you, along with a couple of other things. I'm just going to break it down on this video really simply with like just sort of key points to it. And I will put again in the description a link to like a very well-made self-help guide online for this. So basically there's 2 steps to this. Then the first step is where you identify your thoughts. Which thoughts are sort of good, positive thoughts that help you in depression, and which thoughts are negative. They'll prevent you from doing things, going out. They'll have negative impact on you, negative impact about your self-image, the way you think about yourself, the way you think about others, about the future, about all kinds of stuff. And in the second part, I'll show you guys how to get rid of these thoughts and change them around so that you automatically don't have these negative thoughts. There's a couple of different types of thoughts that are faulty thoughts. But basically I'm going to give you sort of a list of the most sort of important ones, and there's a lot more categories. You can go look it up online. The first one is a all or nothing thought. Like, either I completely succeed in life, I'm perfect, I do everything right, or I'm a complete failure. Like, there's nothing in between. There's no, like, the whole rest of the world doesn't exist. Like, either I need to get a perfect score on this test, or if I get anything else, I'm basically a failure. I failed it completely. There's no, like, middle grade, average grade. It has to be everything or nothing. Another faulty thought is jumping to conclusions. Now, this is pretty obvious. Jumping to conclusions, everyone should know what that is. It's like thinking, I failed this test today, I'm gonna fail my life, I'm never gonna have a job, I'm never gonna have a career. Do you know that? Has it been, proven that you're never going to have a job or anything just because you failed a test? What happens in between the moment now when you failed it and in 10 years when you're like at your job? Jumping to conclusions can be about a lot of things. It can also be like, oh, I don't want to go to this party because everyone is gonna hate me. Do you know everyone that's at this party? Have you personally met everyone? And do you know that every single person in this party actually hates you? If not, then it could be faulty thinking, a jumping to conclusion about other people. Another one is emotional thinking. This is one where you feel bad, so you assume that everything around you is kind of bad. A good example of emotional thinking is like, oh, I'm super angry right now at this person, therefore this person must be really angry at me as well. Like, you feel something, like you feel sad, you feel angry, you feel depressed, you feel anything, and you attribute that to just something else that isn't linked to it, basically. I don't know how to explain it, but if you have a thought that comes to you when you're really sad or something, but then like a half hour later when you're happy, you don't have that thought anymore, that was probably emotional thinking. Another bad one too is mind reading, like assuming that you know what another person is thinking. You have an argument with someone and you just assume that the person hates you, even though you don't necessarily know if they do, you don't know what they're thinking, but you mind read. You assume what another person is thinking, even though you haven't like asked them how they feel, you don't know how they feel. you're just assuming something about another person's feelings. That's usually a faulty thought as well. Another one is exaggerations. This one is pretty obvious. You can usually figure out if you're exaggerating the situation or not in your head. A good way to identify these thoughts is to write it down. Just keep like a thought record where you write down thoughts that you notice come back all the time, and then try to analyze them like, oh, am I feeling emotional right now when I have these thoughts today? Is it all black or all white? Am I exaggerating? And stuff like that. And try and just keep track of it and write down next to it how you're feeling and see if a lot of them come up a lot, because maybe you'll find a pattern in your thoughts, which will also make it easier to help that and change that in the future. Part 2, how to change the thoughts. This is the actual sort of therapy part of it. You've written down a lot of these thoughts that you have all the time. You've noticed a couple of them that keep coming up. Take these thoughts and try to replace them with happy, positive thoughts. Now this is a hard thing to do. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time for these to be like automatic. For you to not automatically think, oh, everyone hates me, but oh, no, not everyone hates me. Take a step back from yourself. Imagine that you're somebody else. You're your best friend, and this negative thought is a bully. It's a bully saying this to you, like, oh, everyone hates you. And imagine that you're next to your best friend and you're telling them, no, not everyone hates you. And then reason with him, like, no, not everyone hates you because there's other people, because you have family that loves you, because you have this person in your life, because you don't know everyone in the world. They can't possibly all hate you. And then write down next to it like a list of what you would tell your best friend if like a bully had told that best friend of yours this thought that you had. Or the same thing with like an all or nothing situation, like, oh, I didn't get a perfect grade, so I'm a failure. No, you're not. Look, you did much better than half the class. Everyone else failed this, and you actually got a decent grade. Maybe not the best, but you got a decent one. Etc. etc. And write it down. This is important, because otherwise you're going to forget it. Have these like fake conversations with your best friend. This is actually how to become schizophrenic with Elena. Yay, Schizophrenia Friday. No, but seriously, write them down, because otherwise you're going to forget what you thought. Write down how you would interpret these thoughts if they were directed at your best friend. Write it down. And then every time you have this negative thought in your head, go back to your piece of paper and look and see what you wrote down. And then keep doing that over and over and over. It takes a long time. It's therapy. It's not just a poof, I'm feeling better like the day after. It's going to take a long time for you to change this, but after a long time of looking at this, rereading what you wrote to your best friend about these thoughts, it'll start to come naturally. Automatically, when you have this bad thought in your head, you'll be like, oh wait, I wouldn't tell this to my best friend. I wouldn't say this to her. I would defend her from this thought bully, basically. And it should help, hopefully. At least it's been scientifically proven to help depression. I hope these tips help you. I hope they work for you. Let me know in the comments if you have other like tips and stuff that work. This is only part 2 of the depression self-help saga. There's going to be a third one where I'm going to talk about like relationships with other people and a lot of the other sort of ways that I haven't really explored yet of curing depression. That'll be a third video that will come out sometime later. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope you didn't fall asleep halfway during the video or click off. Please subscribe and thumbs up if you liked the video, if you'd like more. Leave me comments about topics you'd like me to talk about, things you want me to do. Thanks for watching. Bye!